On August 1st, Estonia rejected the CCP's funding for the construction of an undersea tunnel. Romania also announced that it would withdraw the agreement for 2 nuclear power plants signed with the CCP back in June. In recent years, Eastern Europe has begun moving away from the CCP, especially since the all-out confrontation between China and the US began. Many countries in Eastern Europe have sided with the United States and opposed the CCP's dictatorship. The Belt and Road Initiative that Xi Jinping has forcefully promoted has been showing signs of defeat in the past 6 years. From time to time, the CCP has heard the voice of holding Xi accountable and how many billions have been wasted by the Belt and Road Initiative. On August 1st, the Estonian Minister of Public Administration Jaak Aab stated that the project is not in the public interest for many reasons. Estonia will not proceed with a CCP-backed tunnel under the Baltic Sea to Finland. For the CCP, this plan is to forge freight links to the Arctic, one thread of its sprawling Belt and Road Initiative. Estonia is located to the west of Russia. It used to be relatively pro-communist, but in recent years, especially after the Hong Kong anti-extradition protests began, the country has started to criticize the CCP. On July 24th, N. Isma, chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the Estonian Parliament, stated that lawmakers condemned China for implementing the national security law in Hong Kong. Estonia joined 27 countries in expressing concerns over human rights in China at the UN Human Rights Commission at the end of June. The main opposition in Estonia, the leader of the Reform Party, Kaja Kallas, also criticized the CCP for persecuting Uyghurs. She called on the ruling authorities to be tougher on the CCP. While criticizing Russia for human rights violations, they should also criticize China. The president of Estonia, Kersti Kaljulaid, told the German Le Monde in mid-July that Europe should actively arm itself against the threats of Russia and China. She said that the Western world ignored the expansion of the CCP in the past, but Western democracy is now facing challenges as a result. This is the third time that the president of Estonia has mentioned the threat of China in less than a year. However, more than a year ago, Estonia and the Beijing authorities were quite close. In June of this year, Romania announced that it would terminate negotiations over the construction of 2 nuclear power plants with China. The CCP promoted the Belt and Road Initiative and tried to invest in the reconstruction of the famous Lithuanian port of Klaipėda, but this plan is now dead. Many Eastern European countries only regarded Russia as their main security threat in the past, and they have cooperated with the CCP on the Belt and Road Initiative. But since the open confrontation between China and the US, Eastern European countries have now equated the CCP with Russia as their main security threat. Why did Xi insist on the Belt and Road Initiative? Under the name of international aid, the Belt and Road Initiative is causing destruction to the ecological environment, labor rights, and building projects beyond the actual needs of the host countries, causing them to fall into debt traps. However, domestically, the CCP often emphasizes the arduous task of poverty alleviation, which makes the Chinese people feel confused. Why aren't the domestic poverty problems prioritized? The Belt and Road Initiative is all about infrastructure development and trade on the surface, but it actually contains the CCP's political and military goals, with the ambition of ultimately dominating the world. For example, Sri Lanka wasn't able to pay off the loans taken to build the Hambantota port and had to lease the port to China for 99 years. The Republic of Djibouti in Africa could only transfer the port of Doralay to China due to its inability to repay the Chinese loan. The CCP then converted this civilian port to their first military base overseas. In fact, China's economy is facing a massive overcapacity. Relocating capital and infrastructure teams overseas can alleviate concerns on the slowing domestic growth and expansion of the CCP's global influence. As of June 2017, the China Development Bank had set aside almost $900 billion alone for more than 900 projects. As the Belt and Road Initiative is opposed and resisted by more countries, it also provides ammunition to the anti-Xi camp within the CCP, calling for Xi Jinping's resignation. On March 4, 2016, the state-linked website watching.cn published an article titled open letter about calling for Comrade Xi Jinping's resigning from his leading posts of the party and the state. The open letter was signed by loyal Communist Party members. The article cited multiple reasons for requiring Xi Jinping to resign, saying that Xi does not have the ability to lead the party and the country into the future and is not suitable for the post of General Secretary. At the end of March 2016, Minjing News published an open letter in the name of 171 loyal members of the Chinese Communist Party, titled, "To the whole party, the whole army, and the people of the country, immediately remove Comrade Xi Jinping from all positions inside and outside the party." Fast forward to May 2020, several open letters demanding Xi Jinping's resignation came out on the internet. The letters asked about how much has been spent on the Belt and Road Initiative and asked Xi Jinping to bear the responsibility of the failures of the strategy. Rumors say that Xi Jinping has decided to cancel the senior CCP leader summer retreat, also known as the Beidaihe meeting, originally scheduled for August, because he was afraid of hearing opposition from the CCP heavyweights.